Welcome to the Protector Culture Podcast with Jimmy Graham. Jimmy is a veteran U.S. Navy SEAL, a former protective officer for the CIA Global Response Staff, founder and CEO of the Able Shepherd Program, a husband and father of 4, and a personal friend of mine. Now here's Jimmy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Protector Culture Podcast with Jimmy Graham. I'm your host, Jimmy Graham. Joining me again for another gear update review is Skip Miller, Parker Mansour, Able Shepherd number
004.
Able Shepherd number
019.
001. Right on. Welcome back, guys. It's been a minute. Gear is always a big topic. It's a lot of fun. Actually, real quick, let's back up. I didn't tell you about this. Let's talk about where we left it last time, because we talked about it a little bit before, and a couple of the things I've just kind of, we take it seriously if we're going to, recommend it to somebody. And one of them was the darn tough socks. These guys love them. I just didn't I burn them up. For some reason, I burned through them. I know you said you haven't been through one pair yet.
I haven't been one.
I've been through like 4. So I'm back to the Kirkland Costco ones, and I love them. They're inexpensive, and you can't send them back. So I do send my darn tough back. I'll send back a couple pair, and I got like 3 in the truck that I've been driving around for like 3 months or whatever.
Right.
And I'll do that, but for whatever reason, it didn't fit my feet. I know Everett was talking about, or Melissa said something about Everett. It doesn't fit his foot well, but you guys are still really happy with it?
Yeah, I'm really happy with mine. I haven't had any problem. I haven't sent anything back. But I went up to a thicker sock as well. Yeah. So it was like their extra padded, or I think extra padded.
Full cushion or something like that?
Full cushion, yeah. And I've loved them. All through the summer, it's been quite warm this summer, I feel. and I'm still wearing them in the summer, and it's awesome.
It's crazy, and I think that might have been the thing from like Buds or SEAL training or whatever, that wool warms, cotton kills.
Yeah.
Right now, I've got, basically cowboy boots on, Ariat work boots, the Western style work boots with a work sole on them, and I'm wearing wool socks.
Yeah.
But that was 100 degrees out near. It's like 95 in here. That's why we're dying in here.
Yeah.
We got a frozen unit upstairs. We're getting fixed. But I still wear wool socks.
Yep,
for that
me
reason.
too.
Cotton jacks me up. What do you got going on?
I wear wool pretty much constantly now. The only time I wear cotton is if I'm just at home for a couple hours. Other than that, if I'm going out or if I'm doing any kind of work, it's going to be wool.
Yeah.
Because my feet will just sweat, and then wool will, wick away that moisture. And I actually got some darn tough, no-show small socks that I'll wear with tennis shoes.
Yeah, as did I.
And I've tried a couple of those, and I'm pretty happy with them so far. I've noticed that if I step in water at home, and my feet will be dry. A couple hours later. Cotton? No
Not
way.
so much.
No.
No way. Cotton socks just kind of went in the...
I'm actually trying the Duluth jeans, and I know that's going to be a shocker to everybody that knows much I love the 5. This is funny. So we're just on Mike Huckabee, right, with Afghanistan. That's a whole other podcast. Don't care to go into it tonight. It's a big deal. But we were invited to go be on the Mike Huckabee show, right? And I look at all my jeans are faded. And as you guys know, I introduced some people the other day to what we call Able Shepherd casual. That just means basically jeans, a nice shirt. I did throw in a sport coat.
Yeah, a sport coat.
But I called my friends down at 511 Hines Ranch, and I was like, hey, brother, Jimmy Graham here. It was James, I believe it was. Thanks, brother. He scoured that building to find my size so I could get the dark blue ones, and that's what I wore on the set on national TV.
That's
so appreciate you guys looking out for us. So still love those jeans. I burn through them. They're so flexible, and they just don't seem to last as long. So I still love them, wear them all the time, but I'm trying the Duluth. They still have some stretch to them. That pocket's a little bit different place for extra magazine and a flashlight. But so far, digging them, and we'll see how long they last. Cool. Anything else on the...
What's on the...
What's up, BK? What do you... He's doing... Sponsor. Oh. Able Nation? Sorry, I forgot that. So I was like, we're not doing the computer, we're just going with it, and then I forget stuff. So yeah, this episode brought to us by Able Nation. So again, if you are in charge of your school or your church or a civic group of the safety team, and you're looking for scholarships for training, you're looking for gear, safety gear, if you're looking for any of that stuff and you don't have a budget for it, contact Neil at able-nation.org, because he can help. We started that as a branch of Able Shepherd, meaning the 501c3. It's going to help people get the training they need to keep their people safe. That's the goal of Able Nation. So So able-nation.org. Appreciate it. Thanks. He's giving me the signals. I'm like, what I miss? Okay. Oh, you're pointing to the thing. You wrote sponsor up there. Okay, no worries. So what we wanted to do this time a little bit different. We're going to call this one free gear. Like, how do you get free gear? We're going to talk about a bunch of cool things that maybe it's new, maybe it's not, but a lot of people have been asking us. We answer these questions all the time, whether it's for personal stuff or it's people in the program. We want to go over gear again, and then we're going to tell you how to get it free afterwards. So here we go. Skip, you want to get started? What do you got?
Sure. So I guess I'll start out with the rifle, the patrol rifle concept that we've talked about in the past. So this is a...
do you mind if I set that up?
No, go ahead.
The reason this came up again, because Skip already had this set up, is that everything that we've done, like as far as the Able Shepherd program, where we started was the GRS kind of protect your family. When people say, I've got an AR, what should I put on it? That first question from all of us is, what are you asking it to do? Well, they're saying defend my family in kind of tight quarters. By that we mean 200 and in roughly. 200 yards and in, I need to quickly be able to replicate those shots. That means GRS type firearm. It means move around urban terrain. Some people in the neighborhoods can't even see 200 yards. We're getting to a point now where we're starting to bring in, that patrol rifle type. Now we're talking about, a little bit of magnification on the glass, still for fast acquisition, two eyes open, so like a patrol type rifle. So that's coming back with our curriculum as well. Sorry,
we're gonna potentially offer some patrolling classes.
That's
correct?
Right.
Yep. So it was funny. Jimmy said, "Hey, what do you think about this idea?" And so I just sent him a picture of this rifle. And I said, "Like this?" And he said, "Yes, that." And so this is actually an older gun that I've had for a long time. But I put and actually the funny thing is that this rifle originally had an ACOG on it, and I took it off and I put a red dot on it, super fast, fast acquisition, all that stuff. And then I put an ACOG back on it, and I forgot how awesome that optic is. It's so awesome to shoot both eyes open. It's a 4-power scope, and you can, but it's so much fun to shoot out at kind of that 300, 350, 400, and just be able to ring steel with this gun. It's just an incredibly accurate gun with that optic that allows you, especially as some of us at the table are older than others, and so like having that ability to see those, with older eyes is really awesome. I really like it. Up front, I've got an IR laser and a IR illuminator as well, just so you can, if you do have night vision goggles, you see at night. And but yeah, I've just been really, really digging this gun. I've had the gun for a long time. I love shooting the gun. It's not my primary gun anymore, but now I've been shooting a lot over the last 2 weeks and just love it. It's just a riot. And being able to just pick up a gun, get prone, shoot at 350, 400 yards, and just bang, and then a little bit later, ting. I love shooting that. So it's been great. I've really enjoyed it, and I think that we're gonna, especially if we go down the path of getting a little bit more patrolling in there, this is an absolutely perfect rifle for that.
Yeah, it's fun for us to go out on the range and get people to shoot like 100 or 200 yards for the first time. And like, I hit it. You're like, why wouldn't you? You're like, you got the foundation. We got an indoor range, so a lot of it is close. So then we'll head shots to to get people to dial in and steady up, working on their marksmanship. Then we take them out for the first time. They drop down prone or go kneeling, and they pop steel, and they're like, I got you. It's just that cool immediate feedback. Now you're stretching, you're doubling that. So doubling that, and I think it's a big deal to talk about too on that patrol stuff, especially a lot of SEALs move in low to no light, of what a little bit of magnification does for your night vision. So like literally, I'm not talking about like having NVGs, I'm talking about your eyeball. And once you use that and it just gathers that light and seeing things that weren't there a minute ago, you magnify it ×4 and all of a sudden things start appearing.
Absolutely.
So it's a big deal. That's going to be fun
Fantastic.
stuff to do. This is called foreshadowing. There's some more
That's
stuff
right.
going
That's
on
right.
here that is going to be coming up in future classes. So stay tuned. All right. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Parker, what do you think in that cost roughly? And we'll talk about how to get it free.
The whole thing is roughly about $4,000.
$4,000.
$4,000. Not the rifle, the optic, the laser, the illuminator, all in about $400. $4,000. Sorry,
400. I'm in.
400's like I'll take it right now. That's right.
I'll give you 5. I'll give you 5.
All right, Parker, what do you got?
All right, so let's talk about, I guess part of that patrol too would be the Exfil Ballistic Team Windy Ballistic Helmet. So full, actually, bulletproof ballistic helmet. These guys are up there with OpsCore, even better in some respects with what they've got. The new rail system they've got is totally modular. Obviously, Picatinny being able to add in, lights or illuminators, IR, as well as you can pair it with the OpsCore hearing protection. So I'll go through those here in a minute, but you can actually pair that with a mount so you can run your hearing protection just on your ballistic helmet. So the way they work is a kind of old, like newer style bicycle or road bike helmet, where it's got a compression system that will actually tighten this down to your head, so it won't move around a bunch. It's very, very, very modular, putting pads where it fits your specific head. So when you're wearing it for 6, 7, 8 hours at a time, you don't get those pressure points and headaches. Beyond that, you can add up at the front with Wilcox mounts or any other kind of mounts. I know, Skip, you got that new mount for your night vision, but you can just add all kinds of night vision to the front and be able to use this in a daylight or a night perspective. So that guy's going to run about $1,700. We can get it from us or anywhere that you can get those.
It's $1,700. That's with the Ear Pro adapters and all that kind of stuff, right? It's
no, that's just $1,700 just for the X-Fill ballistic. There's two different ballistic helmets from Team Windy, a couple different ones, but the one is just the standard ballistic helmet. There's also a slim one that shaves a little bit of weight off, but if you're not using it in 12 hours a day every day, just go with the standard X-Fill ballistic.
Cool.
And that's kind of the best one I've seen yet.
Yeah.
So that's not a motorcycle helmet?
It is.
Because on the fundraiser, somebody was riding a Ural with the kids, and that was my helmet. I had a flashlight, a pistol light here, was rolling that thing in the mountains. That thing's a super comfortable helmet.
Pretty sure that would pass all the DOT inspections.
That's what I was just riding with the American Legion guys over there. I was just speaking to the American Legion. What's up, Mike? So, Mike McNary and all that stuff. He goes, "Is that DOT approved?" I'm like, "Bulletproof." He's like, "Good enough." I'm like, "Roger that."
Yeah, those are incredibly comfortable helmets.
Cool. So the guys. So speaking of motorcycles, we've been out. We just did the 5-gallon challenge. We just did the motorcycle ride out to the California BDR, and there is this constant thing. Got 86er. This is for you. So our boy Jason Campbell up in Montana. That's my man. And there's this funny thing, and Steve Klein and Perry. There's always there's 10 different ways. If there's 10 guys, there's 10 different ways to do coffee. So as of right now, that's August 25th, 2021, this is where we've landed, at least me and Jason, right? So if you don't know what a JetBoil is, JetBoil is fantastic. You pull this guy off, here's you basically throw this thing together, and in a very short time, you're gonna spin your jet onto here. The base snaps on here to keep it more stable. I'm not going to pull that out. And then when you fire this thing up, okay, so I don't know if you can see this BK. I always challenge BK on this stuff. The clickers are always finicky. So I skip the clicker altogether and I go with the knife that I'm going to talk about. So this is the Light My Fire Mora blade, right, with the fire starter in there. So you fire this thing up, and that thing is burning right now. And in about maybe 2 minutes, that's going to be boiling hot water. And once you fire that water up, you fill up your water, you put this here, take this plastic thing off, it's got these fins, you snap this sucker on and it's boiling water, right? And this is where it turns into the magic. Me and Jay searched for this thing. This is called a Melita filter. You take these cone-shaped filters, throw it in there, put the coffee on there, put it on top of your cup, and you do the pour-over thing. And this goes in the trash, and if you're really trying not to mess around with coffee grounds and all that kind of stuff, it's a strong cup of coffee, because when you're on the road and you're on motorcycles and all that stuff and it's early in the morning, that weak stuff isn't going to cut it. So basically it is super strong coffee, and then whatever. So these things, if you don't want to do dishes and if you haven't done the dehydrated stuff, the Mountain House, you pull it open, you pour roughly 2 cups of water in there, you mix it up, close it, 10 minutes later you got a hot meal. So that's a big deal. You eat it, close it up, throw it in the trash, and you're not doing dishes. So all you're ever doing is boiling water. One trick, if you're ever out in the Arctic environments and it's really cold, or you with your wife or girlfriend and they're just cold anyways, filling up a Nalgene, the thick Lexan Nalgenes, filling those up, put the cap on, wrap it in a t-shirt and throw it in their bag. It'll heat them up all night. So it's just
hot water.
With hot water, yeah. Fill it up, or whiskey, whatever. What are you thinking? Yeah, fill the Nalgene bottle up.
Not coffee.
With
hot coffee.
Water,
Yeah.
Or coffee. And then morning, just
iced coffee.
Whatever. So that works. So that thing, if you don't know about that JetBoil, there's many different models of them. But man, I held off for a while because I had an MSR, one that you had to set up in different stages, man. I'm still messing with them. People are drinking coffee. I'm like, enough's enough. So that's where we're at. Cool. Skip, what do you got next?
So you got the flame going with your fire knife. So this is from Smith's. You can get this on Amazon. You got this one at Cabela's, I think.
yeah.
So what's really cool about this is a fire. It's a multiple things. It's got a compass. It's got a fire starter. It's a knife sharpener, and you even have a sharpener for a serrated blade, and then there's also a light. But the coolest thing is, try not to do this, is that it really. Oops, let me grab this. Turn it off. It really. I wanted to make sure we didn't set anything on fire. It really sends out sparks. So the funny thing is, my wife loves to start fires, whether it's campfires or whether it's we heat our home with wood. So when we moved in there a little bit of almost 18 months ago, we moved into the winter, and she started the first 30 fires in our wood stove with that exact. I mean, not this one, but a different version of that, and they're just awesome because they put such a great spark on.
It's a good spark.
And we were doing we did kind of a fire starter class at an event, and it was everybody showed up, and we're like, okay, for event number 1 is going to be start a fire. So go out and grab your fire starter kit out of your car, and we'll get everybody starting a fire. And about 50% of the people went. And so we had a bunch of these, and I had some kindling and stuff and some fire starter equipment. They're fantastic, and they're like, I don't know. Did we look it up? Was it $12? Something like that. So yeah, super easy to get a fire starter.
The other thing is a whistle. It's got a whistle.
It's got a whistle.
on
That's
one
right.
end.
Yep.
And my kids, we've got this thing. Like if we're out camping, I mean, if we're at you saw it. We were at your gym, and they're like, "Let's take a picture." And I was like, "We got a little whistle thing going on."
Yeah.
And I see 3 heads pop out. Doop, doop, doop. I'm like, "Bring it in."
That's
And they're
Dad.
going over.
Yeah.
But if it was an emergency, they do the same thing. We're out camping, and I do 3 whistles. They're in. They bring it in. What do you got, Dad? Bring it in.
Yep.
They just come over. So it's kind of a big deal for an emergency.
And this thing is like, it's amazing because it has so many different things, and it's really inexpensive.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason that's not like
In your kit.
In your kit.
Yep.
Pretty much everywhere you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Parker, you're up.
So I kind of talked about it a little bit before, but hearing protection is a huge thing, especially in what we do on a daily basis. That's one thing I would spend a ton of money on is to protect my ears and my eyes, because you only get a set of each. So OpsCore makes the hearing protection that is. There's a couple different versions, but there's connectorized, which you can actually get are deconnected down lead cables, as well as a deconnected mic, so you can just run hearing protection, or you can run full comms through them. Additionally, with you get the NMFI or NFMI, something like that, you'll get in-ear hearing protection as well, and it uses an electronic signal to communicate with the big ears that you're still having electronic hearing protection, versus if you go, like indoor rifle is a lot of sound. And if you just double up, so you put foamies in and then electronics over top, it's still kind of like not having electronics. You still can't hear. It's really muffled. Hard to hear commands, hard to hear anything else that's going on. These will actually sound like we're talking right now. And it's a very good sounding electronic versus like cheaper ones that kind of sounds tingy or metally, and it doesn't get a lot of noise reduction. Cool. With the inner and outers, you're getting a 34 decibel reduction. So that's huge. That's a lot. You can fire rifles like big blasted rifles indoors, and you're still not coming out of there with that ringing in your ears. So I really like them, and they work very, very well for that. And with the deconnected cables, you can just run hearing protection, or you can plug them back in. We've done it for live fire events outdoors. It was awesome. It worked last time. When Skip and I did an event, it was the coolest thing. I'm like, Santa, you got me?
Yeah,
and he's coming right back, and it's right in your ears, and the mic's right there. So it's phenomenal for what you can do. These run roughly about $1,400 for the entire kit with the in-ears and the outer ears with all the cabling, but it's 100% worth it. Yeah. If you're going to be in the range on a regular basis, or if you're even shooting outdoors on a regular basis, protecting your ears is key.
Yeah, if you're shooting a lot, that level, that's a great place to, if you're going to pick a place to spend a bunch of money, that's a great place to do that. Because like you said, like I've got a lot of friends that like they have constant ringing in their ears,
like tinnitus,
and it's never going away.
Yeah, and you can hit a certain decibel level, and I don't know which decibel level it is, but you hit a certain decibel level, and you do permanent damage to your ears and that fast.
Yeah,
it's never coming back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's huge to be able to protect your ears, because I've had that. Ear Pro kind of pushes away, and then all of a sudden, boom, and you're like, oh no, that's bad.
Yeah.
So the inner ears on this one will still be just like foamies.
Right.
So if this pushes away, the outer ears push away, you still have foamies in there, but they'll still communicate with the outers with that electronic signal. So super awesome with those.
So all of that right there, $1,400.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. About
I forgot to say
$1,400.
that. This is about $120 for this system, $9 for this. So good to go. Okay, so next one is the MSR. These are the drum lights. They got the dromedary bags that are black and they're super tough. Like literally, I've seen them drop out of people accidentally cut away the rucksack. Alice pack falls to the ground and hits. There's mangled stuff in there. Stoves are all busted and there's still water in the dromedary bag. The black ones that are really tough. These aren't as tough. These are the drum lights, but they pack up so small. They're super small. So I was going to talk about that in the MSR. This new hand pump, and this was Jay had one of these, the 86er had one of these, and I had the bag, so like having a Ziploc bag, filling it full of river water, closing it, putting it in another bag, and then hiking back to camp. We just did the 5-gallon thing with the kids, pulled it back up, and now you use your straw, what do you call that thing, life straw, to suck it out of there. But you're saying it's kind of cumbersome, and if the bag falls over, you're done, because you lost all your water, and you're carrying around dirty water. He pulled this thing out. I had one, this is a 2-liter. He had a 2-liter. And literally you just put this in the dirty water, in the gray water, put this in your bag and literally just start pumping.
It's just a hand pump, like a squeeze.
It's just bulb pump. That's all you do, just do this. A couple minutes, 5 minutes, we filled up both of those and now you're done. You're carrying clean water and it was just better. And I'm like, I'm getting one of those. I'm guessing $45 for this thing.
That's awesome.
These things are a little bit, maybe $20. I thought they're a little bit less, but I think it's around $15, $20. They have them in 2-liter, 4-liter, 6-liter. I'm going with 2-liters because my water carrying system is going to be like the 2 bags tied together go around your neck. 2 liters and 2 liters here as opposed to like the 4 or 6 on your back. So you can separate them and place it for the weight. So for water, that's a pretty good.
That's a great option.
Cool. And these are tough. These are like the only thing that I might upgrade on these because and everybody that knows if I've talked about this, I've had bad experiences with bladders. And same thing with this last camp trip. I'm like, why am I wet right now? It's cold right now and I'm wet. Well, the boy didn't close this. Right? It turned a little bit and now I lay on it and it's like, now I'm wet again and it's chilly, right? So I have in the past, I just ordered a couple more of these and there's is it called something human something, whatever. It is a replacement for an Nalgene bottle that's just got the big one and then a smaller one like this and they both lock down really tight. It doesn't have this guy, but it would be the equivalent of having this and this, but I've never had them leak ever.
Right.
So it makes them kind of bulletproof, and when you want to pull it off and drink some serious water, you're not sipping out of this little hole. Yeah, okay. So they're really handy. So you can upgrade those if you wish. All right. What else you got, Skip?
I think that was it.
Straw hat.
Oh, I thought you were doing that one.
I forgot.
I was hoping you'd forget about that.
Oh, Parker.
Poor Parker.
This is not fair.
So, Powder River hats.
Powder River hats. My brother Brooke.
Yep.
What's up, Brooke?
In Elizabeth, Colorado. So we have.
He didn't get the memo. He's like, dude, I never have one. These are the most comfortable. I'm sorry.
They're super comfortable, but they. We have Rand hats, the custom cowboy hats that are amazing and incredibly hot in the summer.
Incredibly hot.
Yeah, it's like no way.
Very hot.
And I struggled last summer. I struggled with I probably made it to July, and I was, but because I was just so happy to wear that hat.
Yeah.
And then I switched over to a straw hat because that's what everybody actually wears out in the country in the summer. And
last summer was a lot cooler than this summer.
That's true.
Yeah,
but these are actually palm hats, right? I believe they're palm, and they come completely flat and completely round.
Looks like an Amish. It's a weird looking deal.
It's a blank. It's totally a blank, and he dips them in water, and then shapes it it completely soaks them. And then he shapes it the way you want it, like while you're standing there. And then you put it on your head while it's wet, and then you wear it till it's dry. And then it stays this way the rest of the time. But yeah, I think maybe 2 months now. And yeah, they're just super comfortable.
They're fantastic. I was using a straw hat that was like the more the lifeguard type, I forget what they call them. It's got the American flag thing. It's meant to say fishing. It's a great hat. But as I put it on and off, I'm noticing it's separating. Like it's not going to last long. You know what I mean? And these are just fantastic. And I was, same thing. It dried weird or something. I set it down, whatever, and I got it wet again. Just shaped it and done. Yep. Like you wear it till it dries and then it's done. And we were talking about hat bands. I literally went online and did a paracord wrap and just made a tan because I was like, I really want on my other one. I'm going to do some kind of cool tooled leather. Like tell a story kind of thing, it's going to be a pretty cool deal. That's a kind of a very expensive hat. It's a very cool custom hat. These things that what did you say, $50?
$50.
If that, and then he shapes it, and you're out the door,
Yep.
and they're pretty sweet. And this, as hot as it's been, getting older, I am concerned a little bit more about the sun. I didn't care when I was younger and all that stuff, but having a little bit of sun coverage, and like you said, they're cool. They're like the air just doesn't seem to, those other ones you die. It's so freaking hot. And these are good for sun coverage, and they feel like they're for quality, like they're going to last.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Cool. Super, super comfortable. Sorry, Parker.
Sorry, Parker. All right, brother.
I'll be coming to see you, Brooke.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, brother, what do you got?
Oh, so this is a pretty cool option for a couple different variations of a inside the waistband holster that is, one, comfortable, two, allows you to wear a gun when you wouldn't wear a gun. What I mean by that, like when you're wearing like board shorts or maybe dress pants or something that doesn't have a belt. Right? So it's two separate pieces, pad on the back. On the back of the pad is kind of this neoprene, sticky kind of material that will stick to your skin. Hooks on the front will either go around a belt or it'll just hook to clothing because they're pretty stout and strong. So that'll hook to clothing. You can put virtually any holster you want on this. One holster that we have is a very minimalist holster from Mansour. This is a Mansour pad and Mansour holster. Thank you, Eddie, for all of this stuff. It is fantastic. These are minimal, Velcro on the back, so you can set height as well as cant of where you want it to actually sit, so you can get close to that Milt Sparks, that really comfortable leather holster. So you set that guy where you want it, and it also allows for another option to put a lighted holster in that comfortable shape to your body versus a standard Kydex holster with a light or standard Kydex holster that are more shaped around guns, square, humans, round, doesn't really work too well. So this allows us to be a bit more comfortable with that and set the position that we actually want it on constantly. So it allows for a minimal one.
This sounds like sacrilege. Still, Milt Sparks. If you're not running a light, get a Milt Sparks. Period.
Yeah.
Done deal. Like, get a Milt Sparks.
Yep.
The reason we're getting these, I've been wearing this one without the light on it just to check it, all this kind of stuff. Ryan's got my Milt Sparks. He's doing a project for me and all this stuff. But it's very, very comfortable. But the goal for this one was now we're going to be able to wear a light concealed.
Yep. So the main thing with this is the light, and then also women that don't wear pants or belts every day. Don't wear belts every day. So
women start wearing pants. And then
wearing belts will kind of take a lot of the holster. Not wearing a belt takes a lot of the holsters out. This now sets that aside, and now you don't have to wear a belt because of the stick to your body. Because of the hooks on clothing, it'll actually stay as you draw and be reholsterable.
Yep.
So
even like with the board shorts and having like a drawstring, it's enough to hold a light gun. And when you go to draw it, you kind of press up against your hip and it breaks out.
comes right out.
Drew many, many times, and that thing, it's just sticky enough to where that thing never is going to come out in your hand. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive.
And it's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
Oh, $69 for this whole set. For this whole setup, $69.
Yeah.
With a lighted holster, it's going to be a little bit more, but I mean, it's very cost effective.
Yep. Yeah.
Extremely.
Fantastic. All right, we got one more thing, I think. I'm going to skip the belt. We've done a little bit about that. But I do want to talk about this. Skip, you want to bring us up to speed on Possible's bag?
Oh, nice.
So we were talking about, like,
I love this idea, by the way.
what is like the collection of things that you should absolutely have? And this was from kind of like your 5-gallon challenge, right? So on this one, Jimmy was talking to me about like a light and some fire starter and that kind of stuff, headlamp, and I'm like, oh yeah, Possible's bag. And so like the old time mountain men from 17th to 18th centuries, they would always have a Possible's bag, and it used to almost kind of be like almost like a big leather purse that they would wear, and it had lighting, it had something to start a fire, it had a little bit of ammo, it had that kind of stuff. And so this is our Possible's bag of stuff that you should like at least have in your car in case something bad happens.
I was like totally excited about this because it started from we were on the 5-gallon challenge with the kids. We had a couple families out there, and I'm always telling the kids, hey, go grab A, B, C, and D. Get your headlamp, get your this, get your that. And I've got them so at their age now where I'm starting to get them quality stuff. Not just the little camping stuff they're going to lose, some quality stuff that I'm developing this bag. So whether we're going over to somebody's house and they're going to need their headlamp, I'm like, just grab that bag. And you're like, Possibles. I'm like, say more words. And you're like, dude, this was a thing. I'm like, really? I'm like, that's awesome. Because now it's everywhere. Grab your bag and we're out the door, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to put, September is National Preparedness Month. And if you don't know that, we're preparing a video series and we're trying to think of a product. So we've got our version of a Possibles bag. It's not going to be it's not going to be an orange bag. It's just the one that I had to show this. But one of the things in it's going to be this knife. This is a Mora blade. Around the world, they talk about high carbon steel blades that are softer. They make fun, like a lot of survivalists make fun of the big American Rambo blade because it's kind of worthless. It's like carrying around a leaf spring. And when it goes dull, good luck because you need a grinder to resharpen it. So it's a carbon steel, so it's easier to sharpen in the field. And again, I love multi-purpose. So if you can make fire with that thing, it's even better. So one of the things we're talking about with that is having a quick fire starter kit. And what we did in here, if I can find it, I'm just gonna pull all of it out. So here's what's in here, and I'm gonna go through it real quick so I can see it, and then I'll throw it back off the table maybe, is I did this, I just tested this. Remember I talked about going to the river and just using a freezer bag to gather water, zip seal it, with the double lock system, bringing it back to camp and then drinking out of it. That's one thing that you can use a bag like this for. When we're using these are cotton balls. My kids sat around the table with me and Jason, we're all just jamming up, but they're impregnated with Vaseline. One strike with that spark and this thing's gonna burn for about 3 minutes. So that means get your tinder, your kindling, your fuel, get all that ready, have all the stuff stacked right there, start that cotton ball, and you got 3 minutes to make fire, right? So it's not gonna, it's gonna be wind resistant and it's gonna burn for long enough to catch the next stage, the next stage, the next stage. So it's really easy to have that and you're cranking out fire. A headlamp, a good headlamp, I like the ones that have at least a high-low on a LED and then red. For at night when you got red, and if you're tracking blood and doing all that, you might consider blue. So they're very inexpensive. This one's maybe $50, I don't know, whatever. These cost next to nothing because you buy them, you crank them out. This is probably about, you just bought these, how much are these?
$15.
$15 for those. Having a compass, just a basic orienteering compass. You can have the Lenzetic, you can have all these other ones, but just having some kind of orienteering compass to know where north is to get you to navigate, if you're lost or whatever. Having some wipes, because it's always good to have some, disposable wipes like this. Having a lighter, because the easiest way, you can do all this. We're going to consider a higher end bag as far as we wanted to keep this around $100, maybe $110, $120, so people could have this thing and just have it in every one of their pack. Remember, it's not your pack, it's to augment your pack. So throw it inside your pack. But I need the kids to grab something to grab that little inside pack, and they've got all this stuff. So just having a big lighter, having those, that's super easy, and if that works, great. But then having a backup plan too. In Arctic weather, I asked a buddy in Montana when I was out there, hey brother, you spend a lot of time out in the backcountry and all that stuff. What do you use for emergencies? And he's like, a flare. Like, what? He's like, a road flare. I cut off a road flare so it fits in a quart-sized bag. And if somebody's really freezing, you got a blowtorch for minutes, and you're going to start that thing up. And then on this one, some of this stuff will be in it exactly, some of the stuff won't be. But the titanium spoon, I think this one's Sea to Summit, and it's a long handle because of those freeze-dried meals. So like,
Trying to get in there.
You can get the small ones, be licking it off your knuckles, all your beef stroganoff off your hairy knuckles or whatever, or get the long spoon and get down there in the bottom and then get after it. So I like the sport because it is enough to like pick up steak or meat or something, whatever. And then this thing right here, man, if you've got kids, have them get in the habit. Wash your own stuff. Take this, wash this, throw your packet of food, after you're done in the trash, and then hook this back onto your bag, and that'll keep you from losing this. I like the brighter colors because if you set your knife down and you spend the rest of the night looking for it, especially with kids, the oranges, the reds, the yellows, and all that kind of stuff.
That's huge.
We're going to be offering that, and it won't be this bag, some type of bag as a complete kit, because once you get it, you got it. Then you don't have to worry about it, and then develop those as your kids get older, develop those kits so they've got their own. I long for the day that my girls go camping with their boyfriend and they've got everything. It's all done, and he's like all a mess and everything. Like, let's start the friggin' fire already, But they're awesome, and it's a lot of fun. So
that's good.
Anyways, anything to add, guys? Anything that popped up in the?
No. So how do we get this for free?
That's right. Let's bring it all home.
Free gear.
How do we get this for free? So this is what we came up with. We're going to pull a little Dave Ramsey or some of these other financial guys to talk about this. So some of these daily sacrifices you can do without. We're going to do some math and figure this out. So one of the things that I brought up was razors, and then I'll turn that over to you for coffee and you for lunch or whatever. So razors we talked about. We looked this up because I don't think anybody here really uses a razor, right? Nope. But I remember the days, right? What do they recommend when you're going, say, just with like the Gillette Mach 3 or who else? I don't know. They make all these things, right? Those, they say, are only going to last you about a week. They say 3 to 8 shaves. So basically 1 week of shaving, at $10 roughly per one of those cartridges is about $10. That's crazy. So we said $10 per week. So what is it? $40 a month came up to $520 per year. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Cool. So that's the number we're working with now. All right. Coffee.
So coffee, like if you just don't go to Starbucks and make your own coffee at home. So figure coffee, $5
On
ish
the low end,
at the
yeah.
low end, like, but say $5. We're trying to be conservative, and a lot of people do it 5 or 6 days a week, right?
You said one every day, and then maybe after church.
Yeah,
another
yeah.
day.
So
6 days a week.
Six times a week. If you're getting Starbucks, that's $30 a week. Yeah, I think we needed to. There we go. So it's thank you, mathematician. So it's
BK is
that's
working the
another
numbers.
$1,560 over the year that you would not be spending.
That's awesome. So who goes to lunch? Weekly or daily? Or goes out to dinner? Or, you're just eating out? Average time you can eat out, say by yourself or just individually, was going to be about $15 a meal. So if you go over to Five Guys, you're spending $25 a meal because the burger's 10 and the fries are 10. It's great.
It's a great burger.
But it's 20 or $25 every time you go out. Or, you go to Chick-fil-A and it's 10, 11, $12, depending on what you get. So average it out to about $15 per meal, about $90 a week if you go out 6 times a week. That's just one meal 6 times a week.
Yep.
I know many people that do more than that.
Yeah.
So at that, you're talking $4,680 a year that you're spending just by eating out.
Yeah, for lunch.
For lunch. Yeah, and then go to dinner. We talked about dinner just briefly. You go to dinner, just you and your wife, or $120 if you're going for a big
Let's talk
steak.
steak because this made me happy.
So we were talking about how can we save money to buy, this gear. And so what I've started to, we moved out, outside of town about 18 months ago. So we don't have the opportunity nearly as often. We're not driving by restaurants to get dinner. So I buy a good steak at King Soopers or wherever, and it saves me. What do we figure out? So it's about every steak dinner we eat at home versus going out to a steak restaurant. It's about $70 per dinner.
So you said once a week.
Once a week.
Saving
$70,
right?
because I just cook it on the grill and it turns out pretty well. And then, but just by not going out, it's $70 a week, which adds up to $3,640. So $3,640 in the savings if you just cook your steak dinner at home instead of going out to a fairly basic steak house is not. It's $100. It's not crazy.
We ran through this, and this made me happy. So what I'm hearing,
That's right.
if I'm correct, BK,
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, okay? So about $10,400 per year is that if you grow a beard and you don't go to Starbucks and you drink quality coffee at home,
Yep.
and you skip lunch, was it once a week?
Once a week.
Once a week, and you eat steak at your house, which is a better steak a lot of times. I know you can cook. And you make a good steak at your house, you can have everything on this table for free.
Yep.
That's what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
That's correct.
That's America right there. Okay. America, okay.
That's totally with a bunch of money
you
left
still,
over.
You got more money.
You got $4,000 left for Coors Light. Is that what we're saying?
Nice.
And we didn't even talk about not drinking.
Not drinking.
One thing, another thing. So the sparkling water, I've always liked carbonated water. I think it's overseas. The first time I'd ever had it, it's big over there. They call it gas, with gas, right? So it's like carbonated water, and I loved it. And overseas, when I was over with the agency and all that stuff, they palleted that stuff in, and I'm like, this stuff's actually pretty good. I can actually trick myself, go home, crack a carbonated water, and sit there and drink it, and not even drink beer, which is, I guess better.
It depends.
You're hydrated and whatnot,
Yeah.
and you're not drinking as much.
But you make your own.
Yes, because
yeah.
you guys that got me for, I think it was my birthday or Christmas, one of those is built. Eric built it. You guys all plastic put it together. You got the pieces and all that stuff. So I can go out in my garage and just get, I just go ahead and Rachel keeps cold pint glasses or mugs in there. So just top it off and drink straight carbonated water.
And then it's
fantastic.
Then it's even less expensive.
It's even less
Right.
expensive.
You're filling the tank from your house and then just carbonating it.
That's it.
So you're just making it. I tried to do that a while ago. I was like, I can't justify the soda streams, and you spend so much on those CO2 canisters you're just impregnating into the water. Make my own.
Yeah.
So you just make that. Now you got carbonated
that's
water on demand, and it's like, oh, this is pretty good.
That's
actually.
pretty
Yeah.
I actually
And
like this.
So even with that, like the Bics you guys were talking about, you don't even trim it up. I get this whole hair ninja thing, so I'll be up to here. I'll look like freaking Taliban when you guys will take a shot at me. So I literally get the Bic at Walgreens. It's nothing, and I'll use that for 6 months to just do this.
Yeah, just-
like a couple every other day. Just kind of trim it down a little bit, and then good to go. And it costs nothing.
And they're nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. So this was fun. So guys, Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here.
You.
Thanks for
Sorry
having
about
me.
the AC. It's hot in here. I should even take this off. I'm going to start sweating or whatever.
Whoa.
But yeah, appreciate you guys. Fellas, hit us up for any questions about this stuff. We got the gun belts, the new gun belts in and all that kind of stuff, but this was plenty. So gear's fun. A lot of this stuff, get it out there. A lot of times, like we just did it with a group of people. We just went out with a bunch of kids and we ran this stuff. And it's training. We say readiness training. Prepper has that negative connotation to it, but it's like as far as preparedness training, this is a riot to use this stuff. And it's good quality gear that could mean life and death, in those circumstances. So there's going to be updates coming on what's going on in Afghanistan. We're not, missing any of that stuff. All that's going to be on a separate deal. And we were very active with the Stand in the Gap with Able Nation. We got an update coming on the next video. So appreciate you guys listening. Remember to follow us on Facebook. So personal one's Jimmy Graham. Follow us as Able Shepherd on Facebook. protectorculture.com. So you can listen. Some people listen to these wherever they get their podcasts, and some people click on our YouTube channel that you can find at protectorculture.com, and then they watch the videos. This one you're going to want to watch the videos, because if you're listening to your car, half this stuff's not really going to translate.
Yep.
It's not even half as cool. So do like Harry Saul does and do both. Listen and then watch. And then thanks again to our sponsor. Remember, able-nation.org to try to facilitate, help out with that budget for those training needs, whether it's personal gear, whether it's training scholarships. Contact Neil at able-nation.org. He can get you set up and help out. So until we see you guys again, God bless each and every one of you. Love you guys. Take care of one another.